Oh, wow. Thank you, Nicholas.
I love that.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I would thank you if you are here, if you are watching, or if you're watching the replay. Happy Memorial Day weekend. It's a beautiful weekend out. So we won't keep this going too long. Hi, Dustin. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Okay.
Hi, Dustin.
So if you guys are watching the replay, perfect. I know this is a busy weekend for a lot. We missed last week, so here we are. My determined four. Love it. So we were talking, okay. Dustin, did you read chapter 4 and tell me if you understood it?
Yes, I did read it, but it kind of confused me a little bit in the beginning there about the primal substance.
Okay.
But the majority of the chapter is that what we think about
Will come to pass.
can become forms, whatever we think about,
Absolutely. See,
Yeah, like our cell phone was a thought in somebody's mind one day, and then it was a thought now. But in the beginning of the chapter, it says something about primal substance.
Okay. So is that confusing to you?
Yeah.
Okay. The substance. Now, if you think of the substance, regardless what your religion is, your creator, whoever that is the substance.
Yeah.
That is the substance. Does that make a little more sense now? Or not really?
Yes, it does make more sense now.
Okay. And
yes,
it really doesn't matter what your religion is. It makes absolutely no difference. I mean, if it's Buddhism or whatever, just put your God, whoever that is, that is the substance. That is the creator of all. You know what I mean? Isn't that a feeling? So
yeah.
They say, and Robert says, there are 3 chapters in this book that are so, so important that if you get just partial of any of these 3 chapters, your life is going to change. You are going to be happier. You're going to be more euphoric. You're going to be more at peace with your inner being. It's going to change your vibration. It is. Because I've experienced that. And the more we practice that certain way, the more we're going to get it, And I was telling Nicholas a little bit, I had a conversation once with Melody. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me sharing because I think it's helpful. But there are different calibers of people. Okay. And I'm not going to say, we are in a category or I am in a category or you are in a category. That is not for me to say, however, some people do not learn as quick as others. It takes, I can read and I love to read. And unless I am engulfed into that book, I do not retain it. As soon as it goes in, it's going right back out. Call me flighty. I don't know. I used to be a teacher. Can I learn? Absolutely. Just like each of you can. But you have to find the way that you learn best. Just because one person swears this is it, but not necessarily that other person is going to feel that way. So I think Melody tells me a lot that I need to move on. She's 100% correct with the people that just aren't getting it. On the other hand, I feel like I should be part of that group too. Do you know what I mean? So how can I, there she is, hi Melody. So how can I do that and still be true to who I am? Do you know what I mean? I think that has a lot to do with how we express ourselves, how we intermingle, how we do, why we do everything. You know what I mean? So I think Debbie, Dustin, and me too. If you are not getting this, you are not alone, but you are brave enough to stay right here and try to better yourselves. You know, give yourself kudos. That's amazing, you know, because it does take a while. It does. I have read this book so many times that it's, you know, and I feel stupid, but then, you know, listening to other people's analogies or their intake, everybody has a different perception and everybody is entitled to that. Doesn't matter if that one agrees or if that one agrees, it's all about you. That's how I feel. And if you guys feel differently, please speak up. So let's carry on with chapter 4. The main goal of this is thought, or the main principle is thought. We cannot create anything. We cannot hold anything in our hands without us thinking that first. It is not possible. So think about whatever we focus on will come to pass. So if we are focusing on I don't have enough money, I can't pay the bills, I can't do this, I can't go get coffee, I can't let Johnny get new shoes, I can't, whatever it is, whatever you focus on will come to happen, it will come to pass. So when we find ourselves in that type of a vibration, the biggest and hardest thing to do is acknowledge it. Acknowledge how you are feeling. I think this chapter kind of ties in a little bit, even with my Wellness Wednesday, on Wednesday. You know, knowing exactly how you are feeling, okay? Like being in that vortex, right? We know when we are close to that vortex because we have a feeling of awe. We feel, as I said, euphoric. We feel on top of the moon. We feel like that's what we need to acknowledge is how we are feeling. Okay. And that's going to determine your vibration. And however that vibration is, that is exactly what you are going to attract. So if you're thinking of poverty, there's more poverty. Like Robert said, when you try to fight the drug war is more. I mean, it happens more because that's what we are focusing on. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I do want to read this one part because I love this part. And maybe it's that I thought it was in this chapter. Yeah. Let me see if I can. Okay. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm winging it here. I thought I had it. A thought in this substance, oh shoot, help me out, somebody. Nicholas, Debbie, Melody? No? Okay, I'll find it. Hang on, I will find it. It's in here. I know it is. There it is. Okay.
Hey, Lisa, I'm sorry. I'm. It's too loud here. I'm hanging out.
Oh, okay, that's fine, Melody. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Okay, there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. Just think about that. Use your imagination, put that visual into your head. Okay. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon the formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. I love that. I absolutely love that. Can you just imagine it? Does anybody else want to talk about chapter 4 a little bit? Whether you know or you're confused, ask questions. Okay, Nicholas, go ahead.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, everyone. I'm so glad that you're doing these calls because they are amazing. I love this book. And
me too.
And, when I started reading this book, to me, most of the things felt like things I've known all my life, like common sense, except for one thing. And I believe that was the thing that you brought up, Dustin, about what's it called now? Help me out, Lisa.
The substance.
The substance.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only thing that I didn't understand when I read this book. And I asked Robert about it, and apparently it is your higher power or creator or what you want to call it. And, no matter if you believe in a religion or you don't believe in a religion, it works. So, it works for everyone, this book, and I love this. And, this chapter is about, that thoughts become things or thoughts are things. Just like you said, we can't create anything without thinking about it first. And there were a couple of things that I wanted to add about this chapter. First, I would like to quote from the book a part that I love very much, and that is, all the forms that a person fashions with his hands must first exist in his thought. He cannot shape the thing until he has thought that thing. And I don't know if this is appropriate because we are on chapter 4, but I would like to quote one thing from chapter 11 because I think it's relevant to this. So I hope that's okay. Wallace Wattles says that the scientific use of thought consists of forming a clear, distinct mental image of what you want, in holding fast to your purpose to get what you want, and in realizing with grateful faith that you do get what you want. And I just love that part. And the reason I wanted to bring that up, because we are only on chapter 4 now, but it's about thinking in a certain way, acting in a certain way. And I love the way he explains it. We must think about something, but we cannot only rely on thought, we have to act as well. So we get to that later on. But I love this so much. And there were one other thing that I wanted to add about this. What was that? It was also about what you and Dustin were talking about, but I can't remember it now. It will get to me. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nicholas. That was awesome. Yeah, I love that part of the book too. I was listening to Robert again this morning from our 30-day accountability class. I'm telling you guys, I know Nicholas has taken that serious, and I have somewhat, I'm not as diligent as Nicholas is. I am working on that, but you are absolutely determined, and you are doing everything that you are supposed to be doing. And I admire that in you. So kudos, Nicholas. You are amazing. And I'm so happy to have you as my friend.
Lisa, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I just need to do more of it. So yeah. I'm not perfect.
No, none of us are. And you know what? However we get there, just know that we will. We have to think that whatever it is that we want, we have already achieved it. Put that in your mind, and then show the gratitude for when it happens, because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. You know, you're just waiting patiently, right? You know, and if we are not ready in our present place for that, know that it won't come. We need to be ready to receive that. So does that make sense? Debbie, do you have anything, Dustin? Either one of you? No? Are you still struggling with some areas? Or did that part about, you know, whoever your God is, whoever your creator is, that is the substance, right? Okay. Melody?
Yeah, you cleared it up for me. The whole.
Oh, good. Good. That makes me feel great. Thanks, Dustin. I'm so happy.
You're well.
Lisa, it is getting clearer for me. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'm so happy about that. Melody, do you have anything before we go into our questions?
Yeah, you know, this is what Robert kept telling me. He said, you need to learn this like it's the happy birthday song.
Yeah.
You need to learn this. And the portion that you took is in the book several times. It repeats itself several times.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Robert asking, what is the one part that sticks out to you most? Because you should be remembering this. And it's exactly what you had just said a few moments ago. And the other important thing, and really don't beat yourselves up if you don't understand this, as you start to learn it, start to apply it in your life. But remember, you know, our thoughts lead to our feelings. Our feelings lead to our actions lead to our results are a way of showing what we're doing with our life, whether we're doing the right things or not. So this is just a guidance. It's a path. Think of it as just I think of what Robert has given us, like I said yesterday, as a roadmap. Think of this as the path to be on, because everything that you've ever heard Robert teach, everything that I've ever shared, everything that's in this book, they all correlate to one another. They all come back. They all go together. And that's how important this is for us to be able to remember about our thoughts. Now, if you don't believe me, ask yourself, what thought are you holding in your head right now? What thought is there right now? And if it's not the right thought, you need to change it. Ask yourself all the time. That's what he did. That's what he said to me. Be asking yourself all the time, what thoughts are you having? So
How
I
are
hope
you
that helps.
feeling? Yeah. How are you feeling? That tells you right there how close you are to where you need to be or where you want to be, or, you know,
Right. And you know, Lisa, I know you talked about the vortex and all of that. I was listening in and we had talked about that. But here's the thing. Many people don't know what that is until they experience it. It's not something you can really explain. It's knowing, yeah, I guess the best way to explain it is, man, I am high on life. I know I'm doing what I should be doing. I'm excited about even the mundane things. I feel different. I feel like I'm floating through my life, right? I feel lighter. I feel awakened. Yeah,
aware.
aware. And that's where it all starts. That's where it all starts, with that awareness. Do we need this? And how can this help us? And once you start to get close, you're going to know it. You're going to know it. You're going to want to keep doing the things you're doing to get there.
That's an amazing explanation. Thank you, Melody. You
I
are
hope that
amazing.
helps.
It
You are
does.
amazing.
It helps me, heck. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to sit back and listen to the rest of your call.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Thanks. Love you. All right. Is she not awesome? Just kind of wrap that up in a bow for us, you know? I love that. Nicholas, you had some major things too. You know, Melody shared with me or Robert, I'm not sure who, there was these questions at the end of the book, and I tested myself before I started with this book and just see if I could answer any of the questions. And then I read the book, and then I went through the questions again. That right there was eye-opening for me, how much I did not know. You know, seriously, like in my face with it. But so I would be very, very interested to see where my thoughts were now at this point. But I think it would be awesomely cool if we did those at the end of this series. If you guys are up for that, I think it would be amazingly clarifying for us. It would solidify what we are thinking. You know what I mean?
Lisa, can I add something for you here?
Sure.
I would love it if you oops, my phone is blowing up. If you at the end would go over the basic 7 principles that are in this book.
Okay.
Just and wrap this series up in a bow. That would be, and I've done calls on that. I know Robert has. You can look them up. You can do your research. Just let me know if you want any of that. That's what we want to take away from this. This is not just, gobbledygoo. You should think this way. You should this. You should that. It's actually giving us those principles to live by.
Yeah.
And you want me to?
Go for it. That's awesome.
No, I don't want to do it here. It's not appropriate here. Go through the questions for this, and maybe we'll do that at the end for you.
Okay. All right. That sounds awesome. I'm going to bring up, oops, what happened? Am I still on there? Oh, I lost myself. Hi, I'm back. Okay. All right.
We see you. We hear you. That's all that's important.
Okay, so I am going to share my screen here, and we're going to get to the questions. And let me go into chapter 4. Oops, up here. Over here. Do you guys feel yourself moving when I move that? No? Okay, here we go. Okay. Da, 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 da. Have you guys been able to open those audios? Just raise a hand. Open the audios. Have you been able to? Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Here we go. All right. Let's start with number 1 here. I'm going to say this one more time. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. Just that thought right there just excites me. A thought in this substance produces a thing that is imaged by the thought. A person can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon the formless substance, it all starts right there. The thought, and then the formless, which is your God, your substance, your God, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. Okay, number 1. Can you guys see that okay? Can you read it, or should I read it? Okay, perfect. Blank is the only power which can produce tangible riches from the formless substance.
Thought.
Great job, Nicholas. Yeah, that's what this whole chapter is for. And I believe, I'm not sure if Melody was here when I was talking about, there are 3 chapters in this book that if you get just that, your life is going to improve dramatically. You are going to be happy. You're going to be more, as I said, euphoric. You're going to be happy with your inner self, your inner being. You are, feeling like you're living life as you should, and you're grateful for everything and grateful that more is coming every day. Okay. Every form and process you see in nature is the blank blank of a thought in original substance. That's kind of difficult being put this way, but every form and process you see in nature is what you're seeing is visible, right? And it's an expression of a
Expression,
thought.
yeah.
Yeah, expression of a thought in original substance. Does that make sense to you guys? Or is it confusing? Okay, let's go on to number 3. So the answer was visible and visible expression, what you can see. Okay. Number 3 is 2 words, takes the form of its thought and moves according to that thought. So what is taking a form?
I'm gonna guess.
Go ahead, Nicholas.
Original substance. I don't know.
Yes. Well, yes.
Thinking substance.
Thinking, yeah. They have to think at first, but yes, you had it right. Thinking substance. Okay. In creating the formless, and there seems to move according to the lines of motion it has already. Okay, this doesn't match my answer. Hang on a second. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, it does. Sorry. In creating the formula seems to move according to the lines of motion it has already established. It's already established because somebody had to originally think this thought in order for it to be. So if it wasn't us, it absolutely was somebody else, right? Everything starts by thought. Okay. No thought of form can be impressed upon. Nicholas.
Is it original substance this time?
Yes, absolutely.
Woohoo, Nicholas. I am so proud of you.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I knew you had that. Okay, number 6. Man is I'm going to give you one of these. He's a blanking center. What do we have to be in order to create? We have to do something first.
A thinking center.
A thinking center. Man is a thinking center. Man has confined his efforts wholly to the work of his
Mind.
hands. Hands. That's where people are lacking, is they're not doing the thinking part. We think, but we are not thinking. Otherwise, we would be creating as well, right? So, yeah, man has confined his efforts wholly to the work of his hands. He has made little or no efforts wholly to the work. I'm sorry. What's going on here? Hey, I'm on the wrong question. Good grief. I'm so sorry, guys. He has made little or no effort to blank with the formless intelligence. How does the original substance he gets a thought, right? Gets a thought, and he creates that motion in which for that to proceed, right? We got to start with the thought. So man doesn't put any effort into working with his mind, was relating with the source, with the supreme, with your God. He thinks everything has to be done completely by hand, physical effort, and that's not true. That is not true, because we can form things by just thinking about them. And I know that this doesn't say this in this book, and I guess I should really stick to just that. But in fact, I'm not going to bring up that. So moving on. All right. What chip are we on? Okay. We assert that there is one original formless stuff. There we go. Oh, I just read the answer. Okay, I'll give you guys that one. Here we go.
That's what I was going. What is she saying? What did she do? It's funny.
Whoops, sorry guys. Okay, let me just finish that then. We assert that there is one original formless stuff, right? Can we come to that conclusion? There is one original formless stuff, okay? Or substance from which all things are made. Okay, I gave you that. Say thank you. Okay, number 10. Thought in thinking substance produces what?
I'm waiting for Nicholas to pump this one out.
Yeah, sorry. I should give you more. It's shapes, okay? Formless has to start with some sort of a shape, and it can't do that without us thinking it first. But then that starts the creation. And the longer that we can hold that thought and focus on that thought, the more that it will come to pass. Absolutely. It's like worrying and stressing and filled with anxiety just brings upon disease, So if we worry, if we stress out, it's the hardest thing to do, to think a different way than what you are actually feeling. You know what I mean? It takes effort. If it was easy, we all would be doing it, Okay, so anyway, thought in thinking substance produces shapes. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are
Made.
Made, good job. And which in its original state, 2 words, they start with P.
Permeates and penetrates.
Very good. Yes.
The
good job.
interfaces of the universe.
Yes, you got it all. Nice job, Nicholas. I love that. And, and that is what Robert is referring to, like learning it, like happy birthday. There's no reason that we can't learn that. And then we say that consistently in our head, the more that you're going to have thoughts just like that. It's amazing how that it's like a domino effect, and once you get a thought and then it accumulates and then you start feeling it, you know what I mean? And just like you already have it, it will come to pass. I believe that. I really do. Okay, a thought in this, I did it again. Gosh, so sorry. You guys would like me as a teacher, wouldn't you? Give you all the answers. Oh, funny. Okay, a blank in the substance produces a thing that is imaged by the blank. Oops, did I go past it? There we go. Number 12. A blank in the substance produces the thing that is imaged by the. Okay. If we get a image in our head, where did that image come from? Where did that image, how did we create that image?
With a thought.
With a thought. Yeah. Thank you, Melody. A thought in the substance produces the thing that is imagined by the same thing, the thought. A thought in the substance that produces a thing that is imaged by the thought. Got to start with a thought. And then as we can imagine it and put that picture in our mind, then we can work on more and more details from that point, and do that often. I try to sit on my lunch break and I try to imagine what life would be like if I achieved everything that I've always wanted to achieve. How would my life be? I try to get that mental picture into my mind. Like, I'm going nuts. I want my husband to build me a home gym. And he said he would, but it's like, I'm chomping at the bit, I'm chomping at the bit. I miss going to the gym. Dang it, I miss that. And I don't feel comfortable going back with, COVID as it was, whether I'm immunized or not. I don't feel comfortable. So, you got to do things. Okay, so I go out and probably spend $5,000 on a home gym. I'm not going to do that because we are resourceful people, and we could build something very similar ourselves, and then you can customize it to yourself. So I just think that's cool, and I'm so excited, and you guys will be the first to know when I have it. It's coming. I know it's coming. And that's what this chapter is about, just knowing that is coming. Okay, let's move on. This is taking us a while because I talk too much, but okay. It's true. Okay, man can blank things in his thought. What can he do to those thoughts?
Is it form or shape?
Form, absolutely. Good job, Nicholas. I'm so glad you're part of this call. You are amazing. Thank you. Okay, so man can form things in his thought, and by doing this to his thought upon the formless substance can cause the thing he thinks about to be, right here.
Is it expressing?
Yes, impressing, yes. Impressing your thought, yeah. Pretty much same thing, absolutely. Okay, so his thought upon the formless substance can cause the thing he thinks about to be
Created.
Nice job. Okay, number 14. I can prove these in the book. Wallace Waddle says, I can prove these statements by blank and blank. Logic and experience. Logic and experience. Okay, number 15, are we on? Yeah. Reasoning back from the phenomena of form and thought, I came to 3 words. Read that whole entire, I'll read the whole entire sentence. And maybe.
Is it original thinking substance? I'm trying to pull that out of my brain.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. I can see we're refreshing Melody's memory too. Woo-hoo. I love it. Okay. You know what? This is why this book needs to be read continuously. You know, Bob Proctor, I don't know if you guys know this story, and I apologize for veering off, but Bob Proctor, it was actually Think and Grow Rich. Okay. And he had a little pocket sized one. And I believe it was in 1961. One of his mentors gave him a pocket sized book of Think and Grow Rich. He had that book in his back pocket every single day since 1961. For 60 years, that man has had that in his back pocket, and he reads it every single day. Nicholas, you're just playing with your cat. I thought you had a question. So I think that repetitiveness, we have to, I will read a chapter every single day. I will go in order, you know what I mean? And then I will try to practice that principle, whatever that principle was for that day. Like chapter 7 is gratitude. I try to be grateful for everything, every little thing that we take advantage of. But the point that I was trying to make with that book, then what he did is he created an entire book from one chapter of this book. Do you know which chapter that was? It was chapter 1. We have the right to be rich. And his book was named Born Rich. And I do have a copy of that. If anybody would like that book, it would be a great addition to on top of this. You know what I mean? I also have Think and Grow Rich. I have not tore that book apart like I have been doing with this one. Maybe that's one we could do next. Actually, I would like to do Shackled Free, Robert Hollis's book. So we'll see what happens. But anyway,
Lisa, may I say something?
I'm talking too much.
No. I just want to add, I was going to add this at the end.
Okay.
But there is a new movie on Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, I heard that. And maybe we should get that. I don't know.
We should get it and watch it together.
Yes, I would love that. That is a great idea. I will look into that for sure. I think that would be an amazing compliment to what we're doing. So, okay, I'll carry on. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry, right? Okay. Where were we? Okay. This process will not blank. This process will not blank. For every man who does exactly what this book tells will get.
Is it fail?
Yes. The first one is fail. And the second one is?
Rich.
Absolutely. Nice job, Nicholas. A man's way of blank things is the direct blank of the way he blank about things. A man's way of doing things is the direct blank
result.
Yes. And result
of the way he thinks about things.
Absolutely. Good job, Mo. You are awesome. Okay, to think what you want to think is to think regardless of appearances. To think what you want to think is to think truth. Truth, regardless of appearances. to think according to appearance is blank. It's not difficult.
It's easy.
It is. And that's why most of us do it, because it's difficult to think. I don't think we think. I don't think we think a lot of, but okay. Regardless of, okay, to think according to appearance is easy. To think truth, regardless of the appearance, is what? It's difficult. It's laborious. It's hard. We don't do that with ease, right? So if you looked at something that just appears to be what somebody else thinks, all of a sudden that is exactly what you think. You're taking on other people's thoughts. Do you know what I mean? So if we go against the appearances, then we're looking at what the truth is and what that truth is to us, not because of other people's thoughts. So like Robert says, when you know what you know and it wasn't so, when would you like to know? We have our own thinking center, so we can create whatever thoughts we choose to. Who is the next guy to say that we are right or wrong? We can look at things any way we choose to. Matter of perception, you know. You know what? A good thing to do. I did this once. I don't remember if it was for Melody or if it was for Robert, but they have us write down all of our write down negative emotions, and over in the next column, write down a positive emotion that could be substituted by that negative emotion, depending on how you look at things. And just, you know, just compare that. That was really helpful for me. It really was. And you think these little things are silly, but they are so effective if you just follow the directions and, you know, do as you're asked. Like that little thing that Melody did with our wheel of our life wheel. That was amazingly clarifying for me. You know what I mean? Because I did go through it and I did it, you know? So don't discard those little things. I mean, it's very, very helpful. That's the reason that they are doing that, you know? Okay. Okay, there is no labor from which most people shrink as they do from that of, oh, that's a hard one, kind of. There is no labor from which.
Can you read the rest of the sentence?
Sure. There is no labor from which most people shrink as they do from that of blank and blank thought.
Sustained and consecutive.
That's, you know, thinking about those thoughts for longer than 17 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There is no disease. It is only an appearance, and the reality is what? Health. The reality is health. So in the way I understand that sentence, and my husband used to say this, and my dad too, when I was younger, all the freaking time. And it used to drive me nuts, and I would disagree with them. But let's just say you woke up sick and you didn't want to go to school, you know, and Dad, I'm not going to school, whatever. He says, it's all in your mind. Get your butt up and get moving. You know what I mean? And as I gotten older and heard my husband, you know, my Dino, whatever, in my ear, you know, saying the same things. And it absolutely is true, because when I finally got better, my health got better, it is because I put my mind to that, I completely got the, what was ailing me out of my mind. I got myself off all the medicines. I did all of these things. And guess what? I did improve. I did. So I think mind over matter has a lot, absolutely. And it does work. It really does. So the same thing with appearances, what number am I on? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not very good at this, but
You need to stop saying that.
You're right.
You are doing this, and this is so helpful. This is, if anybody would just take this information from just this call alone, let alone all of the other ones, Lisa, this is incredible.
Oh,
you are doing a great job.
Thank you. Good. I'm glad.
You say you're awesome.
Thank you.
You're totally awesome.
You know what? I'm being a little bit selfish because I am getting tons out of this. I'm getting tons. This is exactly what I needed. So thank you guys for that. And I just hope that you do too, Okay, so let's carry on. This is a long chapter. I knew it would take a while. So the rest of them won't be near this length, but this is an important one to get. Okay. There is no poverty. There is only abundance. And there is enough abundance for the entire universe. Don't ever think that there's not enough, because that is not true. If something runs out, more will be created. Whatever we need as a universe, whatever we need at that moment, it will come to us. It absolutely will. To think truth in the midst of appearances requires power, but he who acquires this power becomes I like this part. He becomes the mastermind. He becomes the mastermind. To think truth, I think this sentence speaks so much. To think truth in the midst of appearances, it requires a lot of effort, a lot of power. But he who acquires that power then becomes the mastermind. I think that is so cool. This power can only be obtained by the basic fact that there is one
original substance.
Thinking again.
Thinking stuff.
Thinking substance.
Thinking stuff. You were close.
Yep, you got it. From which and by which blank things are blank.
All things are made.
Absolutely. Okay. Every blank held in the substance becomes a blank. It's got to start with a
thought.
A thought. And then it becomes, it held in the substance becomes another word for a shape, a form. It becomes a form.
Right.
Okay. We can create what we want to create. We can blank what we want to have. We can blank what we want to have. We can
get what we want to have.
We can become, yes, we can have what we want to have, and we can become what we want to be. Okay, you want me to read that again? We can create what we want to create. We can have what we want to have, and we can become what we want to be. Okay, last one. If you get mixed up in your blank, all your efforts will be if we get mixed up in our faith and what we believe, all our efforts will be will be in vain. they will be for naught. So I think this chapter, we definitely have to, lost my train of thought. Yes, so whatever you want to believe, that is your faith, okay? Whatever you want to believe. So then we have to stay away from opposing thoughts. We can't let anybody tell us, no, it should be this way. That is not up to them to force their crap on us, their stuff on us. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what is happening is we are forming all these opinions from other people's thoughts. We don't have to do that. Okay, Nicholas, you have a question?
Yes, and this is something that I've been wondering ever since I started reading this book, and I've never asked about it, and I can't imagine why. So in the book, it talks about, formless substance, the formless intelligence, the original substance.
Mm-hmm.
And when I asked Robert about this, he said your higher power. So does all those three examples that I brought up now, does they mean the same thing? Or is there a difference between formless substance and formless intelligence and original substance?
That's a great question, Nicholas. I'm not sure that I can answer
Melody.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. And that's exactly how I take that, is formless substance, original substance, and intelligent. What was it? Intelligent substance. Yeah, I see them. I take them as all being my higher power, my God.
That's simple enough.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you, Melody. Okay. Any other questions, Nicholas? Am I supposed to put your hand down?
No, I don't know if I can do it or if you.
Sure.
Oh, there.
You did.
No, that's all. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I was wondering about that.
I
Thank you,
absolutely
Melody. Thank you,
love
Lisa.
this chapter. You're welcome. I am so excited for the next one. And you guys have been able to access everything okay. There is no issues, right? So if somebody's telling me, oh, they can't get at it, they're just not maybe doing it right. Is that possible? And that was a big reason for Nicholas to be on here with us, not that I would not have invited him anyway, but he's got the knowledge if we get into, and I'm telling you, Melody, you weren't here when we started the call, but I was saying to everybody, the last couple of days have really been a challenge for me. And I chose to stay away from social media. I chose to not intermingle in conversations because I just had this negative vibe and I didn't want to rub that off on anybody else. And I think the fact that I acknowledged where I was at was detrimental because we get half cocked and we go off, being upset about something and we have to be right. And you know what? We don't have to be right. We don't, like I said in Wellness Wednesday, we have to pick our battles. And that's a battle I choose not to do anymore. You know what I mean? And this course has been eye-opening for me because of all the issues I've come across already. It's affecting other areas. You know what I mean? And that domino effect, stop it in its tracks, just stop it and back away from the situation. If you need to, just step back and rethink, And I'll tell you, I got to do that too. So that's all I got. Does anybody have anything else to say or add? Or I appreciate you guys taking time out of your Memorial Day weekend and to be here with us. This has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for participating. Okay.
Lisa, may I add something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know how Robert says, and one of the reasons why I send out the gratitude journal to people is because it has those intentional gratitudes in them, things we're grateful for that have not yet. So, you
Mhm.
know, all through this book, you'll hear Napoleon, he'll talk about faith. You'll hear him talk about, you know, holding those thoughts. And that's what Robert has taught us, you know, with our intention, our gratitude intentions, you know, those things that we want to achieve that we're going to be grateful for today that have not yet happened. To when your mind starts to wander, if you are a daydreamer or you're just, you know, you just kind of go off in your thoughts, go to those thoughts, hold those thoughts. This is what this means in this chapter, is to hold those thoughts in your head so you can create, you can get closer to those things in your life.
Mhm.
And this is so important. It seems like, well, how am I going to build my business like this? And how is this going to? No, become a daydreamer. Do those things. Hold those thoughts in your head. It's so, so important. And when we do that, we will definitely be seeing those things come closer to us. And it's so exciting.
Yeah.
So exciting. It can be anything. It can be, I don't know, a car that you want, or it can be, you know, living in a different neighborhood. It could be in a different home. It could be any, you know, it could be a new couch in your house. It could be anything, anything. And this is why, you know, the vision board, the dream board, and holding those thoughts in our head are so, so important.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, thank you, Melody. That is an important fact. Absolutely. Thanks, you guys, for hopping on. This has been amazing. And I did record. Yes. All right. I forgot at first, but Nicholas reminded me. Okay, I can't wait to see you guys next week. And you know what? Do me a favor. I'm going to stop the recording.